This is the challenge Chinese competition poses. Critics say Chinese cars are cheap because they are heavily subsidized by the government. There are other factors.
Wages are really low. There's a fair amount of evidence of forced labor in part of the battery supply chain. There's also a lot less attention to environmental considerations in terms of cleaning up and having a clean battery operation, which uses a lot of nasty chemicals.
That said, the best of the Chinese EV startups have a 30% cost advantage over legacy automakers, even without subsidies or government help. Mark Wakefield, a managing director for Alex Partners, says to compete with that, automakers have to completely change the way they operate.
From an automaker's perspective, you can't count on that protectionism. You have to get ready to fight.
This is the hard part. First, Chinese companies are software-oriented. Established automakers elsewhere produce cars made with very limited software embedded in parts. Truly software-defined vehicles, in contrast, are ones where hardware and software can be updated independently, more like computers.
It's a fundamentally different way of developing a vehicle.
Chinese firms are also fast. They develop things quickly, they scale things quickly, which attracts attention from government, suppliers, or other stakeholders.
They take out a lot of time in the strategic phase. They're much more willing to just go. They don't have the same sort of battles about what to do and what to make.
Chinese firms rely heavily on methods like virtual testing rather than the physical tests favored by others. This cuts months off schedules and hundreds of millions of dollars from budgets. They have a shorter time to market. Non-Chinese brands take about 5.4 years to develop a new model. Legacy Chinese brands, 3.5. New energy vehicle brands like BYD, 1.6. Deadlines are hard, even if that means releasing a subpar vehicle. These companies have an intense overtime culture.
Most of them do not allow this drift that Western companies do. And they're willing to put a bad vehicle out there and suffer the consequences because they consider the alternative to be a guaranteed loss. If I take 40 months to make the vehicle, I can't make a competitive vehicle.
They're also willing to endure large losses early as they get to scale. There are two benefits: higher volumes, which help spread costs, but also a lot of learning in that painful early period.
This desire for short-term profits by American investors, these activist investors, makes that strategy hard. China has taken large losses for a long time. And this is their playbook. They do this in industry after industry.